Hello. My name is Annie, and today I'm doing my cash stuffing for the month of April. My income was pretty high for the month before, so it is an unusually large cash stuffing. I have $7,435, which I've already put out on my tray. And this is money after my mortgage, but pre-tax on some of it. I am self-employed and I do have a mortgage. So with my offset account, that reduces the amount of interest I pay on my mortgage on my home loan. I like to use digital funds just to keep track of it. I use these prop notes. It was a unusually large income month for me for March. So I'm going to stuff things where I can. First things first, to taxes. Taxes is getting $2,300. Now, I do know that there is political debate about removing, the first tax bracket, to lower to a 15 cents per 100 cents tax rate, and then eventually a 14 cents per 100 cent tax rate. And that's very much dependent on if the incumbent government wins re-election next month. But either way, they're not going to make that happen until next year, 2025 and 2026. And even then, like 1 extra cent per dollar on like $20,000 isn't much. So yeah, I know, it just screws up with small business and self-employed taxes, doesn't it? Either way, it's not going to make a huge difference. Bills are high. So $2,300 is going in. So in total, I have 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700. $7,700 in taxes. This sits, again, offsetting the interest on the home loan until it's due. Same thing with my superannuation. I like to put it in like pretty much just before the end of financial year. So I will be making a deposit to my super fund in early June. It's getting a big one this month of $1,000. 5,000, 6,000, 7,000, 7,500, 750. It's very interesting that the super taxation hasn't changed. If you salary sacrifice, or again, if your employer puts money into your super, it is taxed at 15%, so 15 cents per 100 cents. And if that first tax bracket, does change, then it's not going to be as tax effective to salary sacrifice. It's an interesting move. I hope they do actually consider reducing the taxation on superannuation, simply because it basically moves the entirety of my millennial generation onto funding your own retirement rather than relying on the government pension. So, by not reducing the taxes on superannuation, what the government effectively is doing is making the millennial generation pay completely for their own retirement, fund the older boomer generation's pensions, and pay more taxes. So, something to bring up politically. Bills and utilities is getting its $500. Now, in my March unstuffing, I did talk about my my insurance cost. I have been playing with the calculators and the quotes for my contents insurance in the last few days. And by adjusting the excess, I actually get only cut off probably $20 to $30 on the insurance. But I'm looking now to consider just insuring my place, my contents for $100,000, and it would bring my yearly insurance to the $500 region. I only have to pay for contents insurance, which is basically the inside of my apartment. But like if my kitchen burns down or if my plumbing bursts, that's all on me. And the cost of rebuilding right now is just so very high. I did also look into bundling my insurance with other things, but the bundles aren't very effective anymore. In fact, I looked at my home loan provider and they were saying, if you bundle your contents insurance with us, we'll give you 15% off. But it still comes out more expensive than currently just shopping around and trying a new provider. So, I've got to match. Anyway, I have $1,505 in bills and utilities. The home insurance won't come out until the first week of May. So I'm paid up until then. So I still have another month to play around with my numbers and see how much I want to insure my things for. And, hope that I never have a kitchen fire and all of that stuff. Council rates is getting $110. I anticipate this one to also go up, but because the council tells you the whole year's amount, and they divide it by 4, I know that at least this won't change until after July. So I've got 100, 200, 250, 260 in council rates. Strata levy is getting $400. So we've got $100, $200, $300, $400, $500, $600, $700. Again, this is another cost that has gone up. Strata levy does cover things like the building's insurance. So that's why I only need to buy contents insurance for my apartment. The building's insurance itself is very, very high. But what are you going to do? Insurance everywhere is high. Medical will be getting $100. I have $100, $200, $300, $400. And in April, I traditionally book myself in for the flu shot. So I will have to book that in, find somewhere that, has availability. I know GPs are really busy at the moment. Plus, going to a GP now costs, I think, about $94. And with the Medicare rebate, you get about $42 back. Obviously I have the money for it if I need to go to the GP, but I think I will just go get the flu shot from the chemist, from the pharmacist. You still have to pay for it. I think last year it was $30-something. So either way, not a big cost for a flu shot. Business is also getting $100. I dread going to the accountant. It goes up and up and up every year. $100, $200, $300, $400 in business. Savings is getting a big one. It's getting $1,000. Usually it only gets $500, but while I have the money, right? $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,500. So $5,500 in savings. Nothing in cash. Emergency fund still sits at $15,000. And in groceries and eating out, I'm giving it its usual $600. So I have a few social events coming up, so while my buffer has been reasonable for the last few months, I don't expect to have much left at the end of this month. Splurge is getting a special amount. It's getting $250. Usually it only gets $200, but I'm actually running low on a few things like skincare and body soaps and all of that stuff. So sometimes I like a bit of a treat to yourself, like fancy shampoo or something. So I've got 500, 600, 700, 800, 850, 70, 80, $880 in Splurge. Splurge covers things like clothes, shoes, makeup, skincare, and I think I need a haircut, so that'll have to come out of here. Home and miscellaneous will be getting $150. I just stocked up on shampoo last month. And I think I'm okay, but I need to buy a few dish sponges when they go on special. And I'm running low on laundry detergent, the sanitizer thing. Or sometimes I just put a cap full of Dettol into my laundry, so that needs to be bought. I have 150, 200, 20, 40. $240 in home and miscellaneous. I also think I need to top up my transport card, so my public transport card, which comes out of the miscellaneous part. Family will be getting $50. I'm going home to see mum and dad this weekend, so see what they need. 100, 250, 70, 270. Gifts and hosting is also going to get 50. So now I have 150, 55. Overspending still has the $100. Never the Bride, which is one of my best friend's weddings, is going to get $200 while I have it. So I've got $500, $600, $700. I think we're 6 months out from this wedding, so yeah, I still have time. Birthday. My birthday is next month, and I'm going to give myself a big one of $50. So now in birthday, I have $150, $210. That's more than enough. That's a dinner. We might do something combined with Mother's Day, which is also going to get $50. So now in Mother's Day, I have $150. And I already know what I'm going to spend this on. In fact, I've already spent it. My mum recently said that her foot massaging machine broke. So she's had that for a few years. So I'm just going to buy her a new one. I can't imagine it costs more than this. So I've already had a look online. She's looking for a model similar to the one that she's had for a long time. I know they've had upgrades since then, but if I can find the exact same model that she's had, she'll be happy. So, tech does change. The buffer, this is the Make This Year Your Year scratch off from Planning for Reality. Got $25, so $25. I've got $20, $40, $50, $55, $60 in the buffer. I really like this challenge. It's a little nice, palatable amount. And since my income does vary and I have very much streamlined my regular savings and everything with savings challenges, I don't often have all of the money I want or need. Yeah. So, yeah, that's a doable amount. And the last thing is next month ahead, because again, March was a big month for me of income. For the months where it's not very high, I'm going to put $500. So I've got $500, $750 in month ahead. So that's been my cash stuffing. Yeah, pretty boring, I get it. It's mostly just the bills I have to think about, taxes, levies. I really want to get my savings up, but like I said, I do pull my family's expenses together with some of my siblings. So we're thinking about reorganizing, one of the funds, one of the business distributions. This might have to go way up to be spent. Either way, I'll have to really, really sit down with the accountant to have a talk about, now who's working and who's not and who's getting what, and it's all about tax minimization, people. But hopefully I can get this up to $10,000 this year. We'll see. But at the same time, I'm hoping to pump my superannuation. My super is taking a pretty big hit right now, especially in the international funds. The stock market is reacting to global trade wars. You've got your ongoing wars, actual wars as well. Plus, with elections all over the world, you have some political instability. So, the super is bouncing up and down, up and down. Again, because I like to use it as a tax minimization strategy. I'm going to see how much I want to put in this year. I might decide instead to just put it into my savings. Anyway, I hope you've all been well, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.